thank you all for being here. Like I said, we cannot do what we do without volunteers. We welcome them, we want them. This is, some schools I know, people say, drop your kids off and this is the line and don't cross it, not here. We erase that line and we're like trying to drag you across the threshold. Please come, please come. We can't, like I said, we can't do what we do without you. So there are many, many opportunities here to volunteer. And it kind of just depends on what you want to do. It could be in your child's classroom working, volunteering for centers, for math time, reading time, writing time, whatever it is that your teacher kind of needs. There's tons of opportunities that way. And then, hi, welcome, how are you? I am a working mommy, and so I like to try to volunteer in my kids' classrooms. That doesn't get to happen often. So what I would try to do is I try to volunteer in the past, I've volunteered to be like the library mom, and I go to the library, the teachers will tell me what unit of study they're doing, and they need books on this artist, and so I'll go to the library and I have a little teacher card, and I check out 99 books on Pablo Picasso, or whatever artist they're studying, or whatever topic of history they're studying, or whatever it is that they need. I'll check out 99 books on that topic, or whatever it is that they want. Or if they need easy readers in their classroom, I'll go to the library and I'll check out a bunch of those, or whatever it is. So you can do that. They have, sometimes the specials teachers, they need volunteers in their classrooms. They'll be doing, like for the upcoming opera, we'll need volunteers for that in 5th grade. They're always looking for volunteers that way, with costuming, with art, with, hi, how are you?
Hey.
Welcome. Welcome, how are you? Hi. With lots of different things. This year we also have a couple of different things going on, like our kickball tournament that'll be coming up pretty soon. Joyce Burke is our kind of fundraising guru. She is always begging for volunteers. So we'll have opportunities to volunteer that way. The front desk is oftentimes looking for volunteers to do different kinds of things. Middle school is always looking for volunteers because oftentimes they'll need volunteers for what we call explore electives. So if you have some sort of special talent or skill, like the nursing, or any kind of special thing, like people have come to us and said, I have a special talent. One mom had this really talent. She did horse therapy training, and she ran an explore elective for us. She brought 4 horses out here and ran an explore elective and did horse therapy. It was a very popular elective, explore elective for those kids. So it just kind of depends, and it doesn't have to be cool horse therapy. I mean, one mom ran she taught nail art, and she did this really cool nail art. So it can be any kind of thing that's your kind of special talent. You may think that's not special talent, but kids think it's cool. So if you have some kind of special talent and want to do that, there's that opportunity. So there's lots and lots of different ways that you can volunteer here. So don't think it just has to be in your kid's classroom. It can be anything. So know that. Yes.
When you have a creative idea, like those other collective things,
yes.
Do we run that through our child's teacher, or do we run that through someone like yourself, or how do we funnel that idea and actually get it in?
If you want to email us, one of us, and just say, I have this really cool idea, we can send it to the right person. Actually, Dorothy Pagan is kind of heading up the middle school, so we could just send it to her and say, hey, we have this mom who's an elementary mom, she doesn't have a middle schooler, but she would love to do this. Or we have this middle school mom, if you're a middle school mom or dad or grandma or whomever, and she would love to do this or he would love to do that. We can get it to the right person for you if you don't know who to contact. So just send it to one of us and you can get it to them. All right. So So to kind of go through our little volunteer training packet here, I'm not going to read this word for word to you. You can certainly do that. But I do want to hit the main important parts for you, because there are some really important things in here that I want to talk to you about. Like I said, you can help in lots of different ways, and I've kind of talked about some of those different ways. When you go into your child's classroom, you'll want to come in, you always want to enter our building at the front door, because safety is very important to us here. All our doors at this school are locked except for that front door. So you have to enter through the front door. Now sometimes, especially like if my child, her classroom is back here at the very back, and those doors are locked, and sometimes parents who are volunteering will come back there and knock. And those teachers have been told they're not being rude to you. They've been told to say, and sign in. They're not trying to be rude, so don't think you're being mean or rude. That they've been told it's a safety issue, even if they know, I know you, and it's a safety rule, so they're going to tell you to go around front. So don't think they're being mean or rude if they say, I'm so sorry, we can't let you in. You have to go around and check in, just because we want to know who is in our building. So you'll need to go enter through the front doors and check in at the front through our little kiosk system, and you'll get a little badge, and we ask that everybody wear their little badge. You'll get a badge that you'll wear, print out, and sometimes our little badge system isn't working, so if it's not, you'll get a little sticker like you have right now, just so we can identify who's in our building, and you'll sign in at the front desk. If you're not coming in to volunteer, you're just going to walk back, walk your child in for the day or something. You've seen those little orange cards or red cards or something, some kind of color card at the front. Just grab one of those, just because we want to be able to identify, oh, I'm just walking my kid back. So, and then put them back when you're done, just because we want to know who's in and out of our building each day. So, like I said, enter through the front door. No, can't let you in through other doors. You'll sign in, get your name tag, and then you'll come back to your child's classroom. When you come in, you want to make sure that you arrive on time, because the teachers are expecting you. If you've said, I'll be there at 10 o'clock on Fridays, make sure you don't come in at 10:10 or 5 minutes after, because they're really trying to get their classroom started on time, their whatever activity. And usually if I'm volunteering, I try to get there maybe a few minutes early, so that, because the teacher will be teaching, like if it's centers or something, or a math activity or whatever, the teacher will be introducing the lesson, and the assistant is usually setting things up. And so the assistant can usually take a few minutes to explain to you, okay, we're doing this math activity, and you're going to be doing this station, and you're going to be working on this activity, and here's what you're going to be doing. We'll have a few minutes to explain to you what you're going to be doing, so you're not just like, here you go, and you're like, I don't know what to do. So they'll have a few minutes to kind of tell you what to do. Another big piece is confidentiality. You might be working with a small group or one-on-one with kids, and you're going to be working with lots of different levels of kids. And some kids are going to know tons of things, and some kids may not know a lot. And it is very important that you keep whatever child that you're working with and whatever they know or don't know very confidential, because if you think about it, you think of it as if someone were working with your child. You don't want them out discussing in the community anything about your child. So if you have a concern, or something goes on with that child that you don't know what to do, or you're worried, the only person you should discuss that with is the teacher. You shouldn't discuss it with your best friend. You shouldn't discuss it with other parents in the classroom. You shouldn't discuss it with other children in the group. You shouldn't discuss it with that child. You should just discuss it, or that child's parents. You should discuss it with the teacher, because if that your role is not the teacher, you just take it to the teacher and she will handle it, or he will handle it, because that's their role, and they'll take care of it. But Anything else should be kept confidential. And think about it, even if you have the best intentions and you're out to dinner with your husband and you're telling him about, or your wife, and you're telling him about your day, and you're saying, I worked with little Johnny today, and he didn't know a thing. He didn't even know his letters. Can you believe that? And you're talking about this child, and what if that mom or dad were sitting behind you? How awful that would feel. Can you imagine if that parent overheard you, how that you would feel if that were your own child? So please don't do that. If you want to discuss that with your husband or wife, do it in private. And do remember that your own children, even though you think they may not be listening, they are. They are. They aren't listening when you're saying go clean your room, but they are listening when you're talking about other children. They may be tuned into that TV or the iPad or whatever else. You think they're not listening, but they are. They catch on to things that you think they're not. So don't discuss other children, especially in front of your own children, because they will tune in. So really be careful with confidential things. When you get to the classroom, make sure you follow whatever directions the teacher's giving. Don't try to change something that she's trying to have you do. If you don't understand what she's asking or he's asking, just ask. They'll be happy to explain or tell you. And then if you need to miss your volunteer day, if you can, try to switch with another parent, kind of find out what the volunteer schedule. A lot of the teachers do Sign Up Geniuses, or I think that's what most of them do. So you can kind of see, okay, I know Debbie's coming on Tuesday, maybe she and I can switch, so I'll call her and see, or whatever. But if you can't find somebody to switch with you, just try to notify them ahead of time so they know and they're not expecting you. Now I know things come up, like children get sick, or you're driving to school and somebody throws up on the way. That happens, or you get sick. So just give them a heads up if you can, and they'll really appreciate that. When you come, dress appropriately. You don't want to come in. If you're in elementary school, you're not gonna. Ladies want to be dressed in low cut clothes, because especially those fit and break babies, they're gonna, don't want to accidentally lean over or anything like that. And then you're going to be down on the floor a lot. You're going to be working, so you want to just dress appropriately. No ripped clothes, holes in clothes, or anything like that. Just be prepared. Don't want to wear anything like super fancy or anything like that, because you're probably going to get paint or glue or something on it. Who knows? Just be prepared to have fun and dress for mess. And then, let's see, if you are volunteering, if the child has younger siblings that are at home or something, preschool age or younger, please try to make arrangements for them to have other care at home or somewhere else, so that you can volunteer in your child's classroom without them there, because it can be a disruption, and you want to focus your attention on the child and the children in that classroom. Now, when you're volunteering, especially in kindergarten, if you have a kindergartner, and it can happen not just in kindergarten, in other grades too, sometimes, especially in the beginning of the year, they can do things where they act completely different when mom or dad come in the room. They don't act that way when mom and dad are not there. They act just fine, but when mom and dad come in, they go nuts. They do things they would never do when mom and dad are there. So don't be alarmed, and just know that the teacher is going to address it. And just like she would if mom or dad weren't there. And don't be alarmed, don't be embarrassed. I know that's easy for me to say, but we've all been there. So just know that the teacher's going to handle it in a very loving and very kind way, and it's going to be okay. Sometimes some kids will cry and only want mommy or daddy to work with them. And so what I tend to do with my own children is I tend to say, before I ever volunteer, I say, today or tomorrow, mommy is coming to volunteer in your classroom, and my job is to help all the boys and girls in your classroom, not just you. And so when I come in your classroom, I know you're going to be excited to see me, and I'm going to be very excited to see you too. And when I'm in there, I'm going to get to help you. I'm probably going to get to help you. I don't know. It depends on what your teacher says. But it depends on what your teacher says. But when I'm in there, I'm going to get to help all the boys and girls, not just you. And maybe I'll work with your group, and maybe I won't. But if you cry and if you don't do what your teacher says, I know that I won't be able to get to come back. So just setting that expectation up front so that they know that they have to follow the teacher's rules, they know what the expectations are ahead of time, so they know kind of what to expect. Because sometimes if they know that expectation, then they'll know, okay, mommy's coming or daddy's coming, and it's okay if she works with other people. And if you know that that's kind of, they have some separation anxiety up front, if you kind of give the teacher a heads up, and most teachers know that your child wants to work with you, they know to put you in their group. But if that's been a problem in the past, if you kind of give them a heads up, they'll know to kind of watch for that. Let's see. If you notice, like I said, anything if a child is having a behavior issue or anything that you feel like you can't handle, immediately go let the teacher know. Don't you try to address it or anything, just let the teacher know, and she or he will come and address it for you. If you need to use the restroom, we ask that all adults use these adult restrooms. There are two when you walk out of this music room. There are two right here, and then when you walk in the front door, there are two kind of right behind the front desk. And we ask that you use the adult restrooms, not any of the children's restrooms. If you need to take a child to the restroom, we ask that you take them and you do not go in the bathroom with them, that you take them, they're in the kindergarten and first grade rooms, there are restrooms in the classroom, so they can go there. But if the teacher says, could you run them up to the bathrooms in the hall? If you take them, just stand outside and let them go in. And if they say, I need some help in here, maybe go get somebody at the front desk or go back and get the teacher or the assistant to come and help them so that you're not alone in a bathroom, just to cover yourself. I don't think anybody would do anything here wrong, but just to protect yourself, just because I don't want anything to happen to you. Not that anything would, but just to cover yourself. Let's see. Covered all that? When you're working with children, you also want to, like if a teacher says, can you take this small group or take this child one-on-one, you want to make sure that you work with them in an open space. So if you take them out in the hall, you would just work with them out in the hallway where somebody could always see you working with them. Or if you take them like in their little tutorial room in the back, you wouldn't want just you and the child to go in there and close the door. You'd want to leave the door open or cracked so that somebody could always see you. And like I said, that's just to protect yourself. So nobody could ever say you were doing anything inappropriate. Not that anyone ever would, but just to protect yourself. And you would never just want to be alone with a child, just to cover yourself. Anything else, Mary? Can you think of anything else I forgot?
No, I think you covered.
We do have here a form where if you volunteer, you have to have a background check. And I have asked sweet Miss Alicia, who handles all these for us. She is one of our front desk gurus and extraordinary ladies who helps run the show around here. She handles all these for us, and so I asked her to come for just a few minutes in case anybody had any questions about these. Do you all have any
questions?
We did one last year, we did one. Are we supposed to do another?
If you did one last year, you do not have to do another one.
Correct. There's one slight addition to the paperwork this year. The process is slightly different in order to protect your confidential information. The screening company is asking for an email address. So if you could just write anywhere on the paper your email address, and then that's how you'll get your link. So I'll go in and enter your data and your email, and then it will generate an email to you. On the email, there'll be a link. It will say, from Alicia Martin at Community School of Davidson, please click on this link to begin the process. That way, you will enter your confidential information to the site directly. It will not touch our hands or go through our hands. If you have any questions or any difficulties with the process, if you could just email me and let me know, I'd be happy to walk you through it. It's a quick process. Once you generate the link, usually we know within around 24 hours, you'll always hear back from me. I'll confirm that we have received the report and that we've added your name to our approved volunteer list, so you'll be updated on the process. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, you'll email us? I'm sorry, I was so busy.
Sure, no worries at all. No worries at all. If you will just, when you complete the paperwork, if you can just add on your personal email address anywhere on there, then I'll take your information and generate from the background screening company, which is called Active Screening, a link. They will email you directly. You'll click on it and then enter your information directly. They let me know that you've done the process, so the school's updated that it's in the works. And then once it's all clear, they let us know as well. And then I will email you back and say, congratulations, you're all clear. We'll add your name to the list. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So Alicia, do they turn these into us?
Yes, ma'am. They can turn it into the front desk or to the teacher. It will eventually filter to me, so to any staff member, and we'll get it to the appropriate place.
There you go. If you want to turn it into that, All right, do y'all have any questions about anything?
I do have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
Since I'm a nurse, I try to get involved with anything I see. I cannot just simply ignore. I know it happened to your daughter and I got involved, but where do I stand there? Am I supposed to intervene and do something, or as a nurse, or, I mean, I'm retired now, so still with my background, I could do anything for anybody, but I'm scared kind of what my role is over here.
You mean as a nurse you would like to volunteer?
Like a first
Just like to help somebody's in trouble, and it happened to her daughter, and she was almost unresponsive. And I had to, the teachers were waiting for her and she was getting late, so I saw her. Immediately I went there and saw her, she was not responding, so I managed to get her out of it. So without waiting till she really became unconscious, she was totally dehydrated. So the teachers were waiting for her, and I went and intervened there. So I didn't know if it was right for me.
Yes,
to do that.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, intervene.
And the beauty of our school is usually there's a lot of adults around. So usually when
It's okay to do
someone, and usually there's someone walking in the hall and we know, you could always just say, I need help. You start
Okay.
doing whatever the child needs, and then someone will get us too. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're not going to wait for a child.
Yes.
No, you jump in.
Absolutely, yes. Any other questions? Well, thank you all for spending your morning with us. And we look forward to seeing you here volunteering. And if you ever need a job, come see us. We can find one for you. We are happy to have you in our classrooms and in our school, and happy to see some new faces, and we feel very lucky to have your families here with us. So thank you for all you do.